To be here with all of you. I hope you've had a great October. I hope your month was fruitful. And I'm very excited about, our future. We have 2 more months left for this year. I think that the value I can give you today is on a different subject. We spend a lot of time talking about recruiting. And for sure, you won't have growth if you don't sponsor people. But I want to talk about something that's equally important, and that's retention. Retention. So retention is the opposite of attrition. And attrition is the amount of people you lose. But retention is the amount of people you keep. And when it comes to attrition, we call that the leaky bucket. Now, everybody's got a leaky bucket. I have a leaky bucket. The question is, how leaky is it? Is it a small hole or a big hole? And that's the thing that we have to pay attention to. And that's what we're going to talk about, is what can we do to fix the leaky bucket? And it's these activities I'm going to talk about. It's like pouring sand in the bucket. And the sand will go to where the hole is, and it'll make the hole smaller. So let's start by understanding something about your business and why retention is important. Because if you opened up a donut shop, let's say in Budapest, and let's say the people that came into your donut shop, if they only came one time and they never came again, how long would you stay in business? Not very long. And when I look at some of the best people in network marketing who've made most of the money, they were people that understood the principle of retention. What we want to do is we want to keep people coming back and buying product. But it's not for rank purposes. It's not because they want to qualify and get paid on their team. It's because they believe in the product. So when it comes to the success of your business, remember this: it's not what you get, it's what you keep that determines your success. It's not what you get, it's what you keep. We've heard this principle before. When it comes to money in network marketing, they say it's not what you make, it's what you keep. I was on a Zoom call with Eric Worre 2 days ago, and he was talking about his Millionaire Hall of Fame that he's had for years. And every December, he does the GoPro Mastery, where he recognizes or inducts new people in the Millionaire Hall of Fame. I don't remember what year he started that, but it was several years ago. But what he said on the Zoom call the other day I thought was interesting. He said most of the people that have been inducted into the Millionaire Hall of Fame are no longer millionaires. I was inducted in the Millionaire Hall of Fame many years ago. So I'm glad I'm not one of those people that he was talking about. But in the case of those other people, a lot of times they were in companies that were not that good. But I'm going to talk about things that you have to be good at. And so those things that are the opposite of that would probably be the reason why they're not in the Millionaire Hall of Fame. So again, when we talk about this, remember, it's not what you get that determines your success in this business. It's what you keep. I still have people that joined with me 26 years ago, still on auto ship with the product every month. And so think about that. For as long as you've been with 4Life right now, can you think back on how many people have joined your team and how many of those people are still with you today? And so hopefully, because this team is still relatively young, you have most of those people with you. And when we talk about retention, we're going to talk about 2 different things. And then there's the retention of business partners. So the principles apply equally. So let's talk about activities and things that we can do so we can create strong retention. If it comes down to customers, I say make a list on your phone. You can put it on your phone if you want, and every month you can look at your For Life report and see if your customers have ordered. If they haven't ordered, that would be a good time to reach out to them and just say, hey, I just want to let you know that I know you love this product and I know you want good health. So I don't know if you knew it, but you haven't ordered this month, and I want you to have a strong immune system. You can add customers to a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group where stories are shared, and they can go there and they can learn what the products have done for people. I mean, it's important. And you can also have them, if they're, you can also, besides a WhatsApp group, you can also email them and share stories about the product. For example, there's a big product group called TF Academy. And what we do is, even people just looking at the product, they haven't made up their mind yet, but I'll say, hey, I'm going to add you to this group, and I want you to see some of the stories, and I'm going to tag you in some of the stories about what the product is doing so that you can get more familiar with it. So, I mean, think about it. How many times have you ever bought a product, or maybe you can think of this, but have bought a product and then you forgot why you bought the product, what it was for? It happens. I have done that. And so when people buy Transfer Factor, for example, and time goes by, if they haven't heard from you and they haven't been exposed to any stories, it doesn't take long for them to forget what Transfer Factor does. And then they get a call from a friend about another product, and they say, oh, that product's cheaper. Those vitamins are cheaper. I guess I'll buy those vitamins. But they don't even remember that Transfer Factor is not a vitamin, but now they just can't remember what it is. So again, by dripping on them with stories as well as news, scientific news, and the research about our products, about Transfer Factor, when you drip on them and they read it, that's really important because it builds their faith in the product. When new people join you, they're very excited in the beginning. Just look at that period of time as romance. Everything's perfect, nothing could go wrong. But as time goes on and they experience rejection and things like that, that can change. So I want to talk about, I think, at least 8 steps that you can take that'll help you create more retention with your leaders. First, the first action step you can take is relationships. You want to have a strong relationship with the people in your team. And we need to understand we are not their boss. It's a volunteer army, and they can leave anytime. So we should feel honored that they're even with us. And the time they need, and the time they hear from us is not today. Today is the last day of the month, right? If they only hear from us on the last day of the month, what does that tell them? That we're just wanting to use them. We don't really care about them. I'm not saying you shouldn't talk to them on the last day of the month, but I'm saying don't let that be the only day they hear from you in the month. I recommend always call them in, the first few days of the new month, just to see how they're doing. And I can tell you today, I know one leader, he's been so busy doing other things. I make it a point to follow certain leaders. And on the last day of the month, I can get online, I can check how close they are for a qualification. And then I can alert them, I can let them know. Point is, we want to just develop a relationship where they really believe that we have their best interests in mind. Also, the book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is another great book that teaches us how to have great relationships. Yeah, so the second action step that we can take is onboarding people properly. And so when it comes to customers, of course, we already talked about that, what we need to do with customers and how we need to drip on them with stories and with research that For Life gives us about the product so that they build their faith, even people that are just customers, if they object about the price of the product, I always say to them, well, I can show you a way that you can get it for free. And then I show them a simple action step, you know, how by sponsoring people, how quickly they will recover the money that they're spending out on their own products or getting it for free. And the same would be true for people who start or join For Life to do the business, and we're wanting to start them on Fast Start. And what I usually do is show them that the money that they're spending out on Fast Start, they'll get most of that money back, if not all, once they achieve Diamond or Diamond Elite. This is a true story. I was talking to a leader yesterday, and he and his team were working so hard with a group of people in the Philippines to get this group of people started, everybody, you know, to start everybody with Fast Start. This one leader told me his goal was to achieve silver. And I told him, I said, I don't think that's going to happen, because you're like 50,000 points away and there's only one more day left tomorrow. But they had a lot of people that they were bringing in. And I got a message this morning in Facebook Messenger, hey, I achieved silver. All the people that their leaders were working with, they were bringing them in with Fast Start. So we're talking about how to onboard people when they join For Life. Fast Start is the way to do it. And that's because, again, they will start with a variety of products, so they'll be able to use those products and see what For Life is really all about, and they have products that they can sell. And if somebody just cannot do it, then okay, that's fine. I don't want them to feel bad, but I just want them to get started. And we have done this in the past where we have said to that person, I'll tell you what, why don't we try anyway? If you get a group of people in your home, I'll come and do the presentation, or anywhere, it doesn't matter where. And the amount of product that will be ordered from those people will all count toward your Fast Start. All you have to do is sit back and watch me do the presentation. That's one way we still are able to onboard people with Fast Start, knowing that they're going to get that support. So there's 4 steps that we want to take in onboarding somebody to keep it simple. The first is download the app and get familiar with the app. And the second is they need to get familiar with our product transfer factor. They need to know the transfer factor story where they can explain it to other people. Third step is they need to make a contact list where they put everybody that they've met in their lifetime on that list and go over that list with their sponsor. And the fourth step is, based on their goals, they need to have a schedule that they can talk about with their sponsor so their sponsor can best support their schedule. What we want to do with these new people that join is we want them to experience what I call the small win. And part of that small win is making the contact list. You want to commend them once they have completed that contact list. The next small win can be the first person they prospected. And the next small win could be the next person or the first person they sponsored. We want to create a lot of small wins. That's what keeps them with you. Now, the next step, I would say the third one, is recognition. So understand this, people will join you for money, but what keeps them with you is being valued. The most powerful words you can say to a struggling leader is, I believe in you. So ask yourself that every day. What am I doing to keep my team with me? And we need to remember this business is all about them. It's not about us. Get good at certain things, special events, notes that you can send them, handwritten cards. Also in your WhatsApp group, when someone sponsors their first person, you can give recognition, do a shout out. It could be any little thing you can give recognition to, and create a culture where your team celebrates what's going on. Now, here's the fourth action step you can take that'll help you with retention. Communication. They need to hear from you, and get good at making a lot of noise. Talk about what's happening in your team with different leaders, not to make other people feel bad, but to inspire them. For example, every month I always like to post in my Facebook how many people, how many new customers I have in my team, how many people broke rank, how many new diamonds, how many new fast starts. And so when I remember, there's a very famous network marketing man who's written books, and he saw my post when I did that one day. He reached out to me and said, "Is that true?" And I said, "Absolutely, it's true." He couldn't believe it. He said, "I want to interview you on a podcast and talk about this." And I said, "Okay." And what I was doing was I was making a lot of noise, that's all. But noise works. Noise is powerful to your team, because they start thinking, wow, I need to grow. I need new customers. I need my leaders breaking rank. I need new diamonds. I need new people coming in with fast start. Communication. Let's talk about the fifth. And the fifth is build culture. So retention starts with emotion before it becomes production. You can create a culture. For example, you might want to start your mornings and get your leaders to jump on Zoom, and everybody's having coffee and donuts, talking about the day, talking about what you're going to do, your goals. You can do things like that. It's all about just connecting. Physically getting together with them, if possible, is great too, where you can have lunch, and again, just maybe invite your leaders over to a restaurant where you can all meet and just enjoy the interchange of talking to one another. This is the glue that keeps people with you. And I can tell you, in my 26 years with For Life, I've never seen a major leader ever leave this company. Let's talk about the next one, and that's the sixth action step you can take, and that is the product experience. Share with your leaders how you're using the product. I can tell you, when I started my morning this morning, I took a shake and I opened up 10 capsules of transfer factor trifactor into my shake. I opened 6 capsules of glutamine prime in the shake. And I had to go out very quickly, but I wanted to get that done before I began my day. And I also thought of some people that have some health challenges, and I was making sure that they got the product. So the thing is, we have to be very product-centered in our daily activity. And if you are a good example of sharing how you're using the products with your leaders, you're going to see that they're going to start using more products themselves. But now let's talk about the 7th action step, and that is called leadership development. So we need to understand this, that when people grow personally, they will stay with you longer. So you got to feed not just your body, but you got to feed your mind. So as a team, you might want to decide on encouraging a certain book, maybe a book of the month on your leadership calls. John Maxwell has many books on leadership. They're great books. There's Jim Rohn. There's, so many great books out there and great authors that you can decide and just have a book of the month. The other is you can also Write down different affirmations that you like to use and share it with your team. Start a journal so that you can watch yourself grow. The thing is, what you want to do is make sure, instead of plugging into the negative news, plug into things that make you feel good and inspired. And here's the 8th action step, and that is purpose and vision alignment. People don't quit something they feel called to. People don't quit something that they feel called to. What I mean by called to is it's a purpose, it's a mission. They feel called to that mission. So again, share the stories. How has the For Life opportunity financially changed some of the people's lives in your team? Share those stories. Help your leaders to see the big vision of where their life can be a year from now, 2 years from now. So it's been almost an hour now, and it was great to be with you. And I hope you got value on these action steps that you can take, these 8 action steps for retention. Again, it's not what you get in this business, it's what you keep that matters. For example, if 10 people joined your business this month and 10 people quit, you haven't grown at all. If 10 people join your business but 15 quit, you're in the negative. And you'll be out of business if that continues. But on the other hand, if you had 10 people join your business and nobody quit, you are ahead. So just look at your reports before the month is over and start making phone calls. And you can do that again. But the key here is always communicating and staying in touch with people throughout the month. Then you're going to have strong retention. And lastly, too, we want people to be system dependent, not dependent on you. That is most important. And that should be part of your onboarding process. Well, it was nice being here. It was nice being with you. Thank you, Laosh. Thank you, Leventi, for translating. You're welcome. Everyone have a good day. I have to go be with my family now.